to the Money RX for CRNAs podcast, where you go behind the scenes with host Brett Fellows, CFP, as he explores the unique opportunities and challenges facing certified registered nurse anesthetist along the path to financial independence. In each episode, Brett shares expert insights and actionable advice, equipping you with the tools you need to take control of your financial destiny and retire on your terms. And now, here's your host, Brett Fellows.
Welcome to today's episode of Money RX for CRNAs. And today, I want to talk to you CRNAs about how you can lower your tax bill in retirement. Because if you are approaching retirement or already in it, you should start planning now to decrease your future taxes. Story for you. Recently, a new CRNA client visited our office. This was last year. And she had a good problem to have. She had saved too much money. Now, most of her money was in a traditional IRA account, and she was worried about the taxes. And so she came to us wanting to know how to lower her taxes in retirement. Unfortunately, there are many ways to lighten taxes in retirement, all without doing anything illegal or unethical. How is that the case? Well, grab a cup of coffee and settle in, because if you listen on, you will learn how to reduce your tax bill in retirement. The woman from our story was over age 72 years old last year in 2023. And this was an important detail to know. Age 72 last year, 2023, and age 73 beginning this year, 2024, is when required minimum distributions, or RMDs, begin. Now, required minimum distributions, nobody usually talks about these, so let me explain what that means. First off, IRA stands for Individual Retirement Arrangement. This is the same thing as a 401k or a 403b. Those are just through your employer. An IRA account is an investment account where your investments grow while receiving fantastic tax treatment. These IRA investment accounts receive special tax treatment because the U.S. government wants to encourage you and I to save money for retirement. And this special tax treatment, the purpose of it, is to allow your investments to grow faster. Now, there are rules for taking money out of your IRA account. And firstly, you cannot take money out of this tax advantage retirement account before age 59 and a half without penalty. On top of that, you must begin taking money out of a traditional IRA account after age 73. Again, the requirement to take money out of a traditional IRA account once you reach age 73 is called the Required Minimum Distribution, RMD. Of course, once money leaves your IRA account, you lose the special tax treatment on the funds pulled out. Now, you may also need to pay taxes on money that comes out of the account, and we'll talk about that. If you have to put a lot of money into your traditional IRA account, and it's been there for some time, it can mean having to take a lot of money back out. And this is because of the RMDs. And taking a lot of money out of the account can mean paying a lot of taxes. The more money you have saved into a traditional IRA account, the more taxes you will eventually have to pay. And yes, while putting money away for retirement into a special account receiving fantastic tax treatment, here IRA, this is always a good thing, paying taxes is never fun. Unfortunately, the relationship to RMDs and taxes is not linear, it's exponential. And this is because of the way the American tax code is set up. Taxes increase quicker than your income. Again, this is because the U.S. has what's called a tiered progressive tax system. As you make more and more money, you get taxed at higher and higher rates. And it's not just the dollar amount that's higher, it's the percentage that increases too. I'll give you an example. If you have $10,000 in taxable income, you pay $1,000 in federal taxes. Well, this is a tax rate of 10%. If you have $100,000 in taxable income, you pay $13,879 in taxes. That is a tax rate of almost 14%. And so this is why it's advantageous to keep your income as low as possible. Because if larger income means triple XL taxes, then smaller income means smaller taxes. So if you have a small RMD, you will have a small tax bill. But if you have a medium RMD, you will have a large tax bill. And if you have a large RMD, you'll have a triple XL tax bill. So by keeping RMDs small, you can save a fortune on taxes. We've already talked about what an IRA account is. However, you also need to know that there are two types of IRA accounts: a traditional IRA account and a Roth IRA account. Now, the IRA account described in the beginning of this episode is a traditional IRA. And as I mentioned, you pay taxes when you take money out of a traditional IRA. With a Roth IRA account, on the other hand, you do not pay taxes when you take the money out of the account. And this is because with a Roth IRA account, you pay taxes when you put money into the account. So technically, you do not get a tax deduction when you put money into a Roth IRA. Just like a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA receives special tax treatment. With a Roth IRA, there are no taxes on the growth while money is inside the account, and no taxes when money comes out of the account. Now, you'll notice that for both types of IRA accounts, the tax treatment is symmetrical. Either you pay taxes now, Roth IRA, or you pay taxes later, traditional IRA. Since you pay taxes on money going into a Roth IRA, you do not pay taxes on the way out. And since there are not taxes on money coming out of a Roth IRA, well, guess what? The IRS does not care if money ever comes out of the account. Therefore, there are no RMDs on Roth IRA accounts. Okay, looking at my notes, so far we've covered the definition of traditional and Roth IRAs, how RMDs come into play, and how America's progressive tax code works. Now, let's do some problem solving for our CRNA client facing large RMDs. Unfortunately, our new CRA client didn't plan for her big RMDs from her traditional IRA account. She was already over 74 years of age at the time we met her, so her RMDs were in full swing. And sadly for her, she was simply doing damage control. While there are opportunities to decreases at her age, those opportunities are not as good as some of the tax-saving strategies that you can take advantage with proper financial planning. So let's review those opportunities to determine what our CRNA client could have done to reduce taxes. First, let's discuss the gap years. Now, this is a term used to describe the time between the start of your retirement and when RMDs begin. If you retire as a CRNA at age 60 and RMDs start at age 73, those 13 years between those events are your gap years. Now, your gap years provides a special opportunity for financial planning because here you can reduce taxes, you can increase the after-tax value of your investments, and you can help set up a game plan for the rest of your life. Next, I want to talk about Social Security. But before I explain how to optimize Social Security to increase your income and reduce your taxes, let's first review what Social Security benefit payments are and how those payments work. If you've been paying into Social Security like most people, you are entitled to receive Social Security retirement benefits. And if you're not sure how much money you are entitled to, you should check out ssa.gov, it's a website, to look up your payments. You can start receiving your retirement benefits as early as age 62 or as late as age 70. And while it's easy to see why CRNA clients would be inclined to start claiming Social Security benefits as early as possible, this is often a mistake. For most CRNAs, the best strategy is to delay benefits for as long as possible. So, does delaying your Social Security benefits make sense for you? Well, it depends on your resources, and those resources may include the amount of cash you have in a savings account, investments you may have in a taxable account, money you have in a Roth IRA, a pension provided by a previous employer, RMDs from an inherited IRA, distributions from your business, or passive income from rental property. If you can lean on any of those types of resources or others to provide you income before age 73, you should, because doing so will allow you to delay your Social Security retirement benefits. But again, why would you want to delay your Social Security retirement benefits? Well, because delaying Social Security benefits is a double win in your gap years. And here's why. Reason number one, you will get more money from Social Security. For every year you postpone Social Security benefits, the Social Security Administration will pay you money. Your rate of return on delaying your Social Security benefits is approximately 8% per year. Now that's a pretty fantastic guaranteed rate of return. I promise you won't find a guaranteed return of 8% anywhere else in the world. Reason number two, you will reduce your taxable income while you do partial Roth conversions. Social Security benefit payments are partially taxable. By postponing your Social Security benefit payments, you postpone taxes. Moreover, you're decreasing your income, which means paying substantially less in taxes. Again, because income tax rates are progressive. So by keeping your income lower by delaying Social Security during your gap years, you set yourself up now for tax-efficient partial Roth conversions. What is a partial Roth conversion? Well, stay with me, dear listener, and you will find out. In your gap years, again, the time between your retirement and age 73, you can do something called a partial Roth conversion or a Roth conversion ladder. With a partial Roth conversion, you take a little bit of money from your traditional IRA account and you put it into your Roth IRA account. Now, when you do this, you must pay taxes on the money you take out of the traditional IRA account. Well, why would you want to take money out of your IRA account and pay taxes on it before you absolutely have to? Well, a good reason is to speed up paying taxes on your traditional IRA via partial Roth IRA conversion, so you can pay a little bit of taxes during your gap years to avoid a lot of taxes on big RMDs later. With a partial Roth conversion, you are paying small amounts of taxes each year and every gap year. You do this to avoid a lot of taxes once RMDs begin at age 73. This strategy of partial Roth conversions during your gap years can reduce your future tax burden. Switching gears here for a second, if you are receiving a pension from an employer or your hospital, you should take that into consideration when planning for your gap years. Because just like Social Security payments, payments from a monthly pension benefit are subject to income taxes. Always consider how pension income will impact your financial plan. The best financial planning would put partial Roth conversions into play before your pension benefits begins. Most pension benefits begin at age 65. Consider this following example of how to lower taxes in retirement for those of you that have a pension. Our client, CRNA Patty, has a traditional IRA account with $1 million. She also has a Social Security benefit of $30,000 annually starting at age 67. CRNA Patty can take her Social Security benefit as early as age 62, and if she takes the benefits at 62, she will receive a benefit of $21,000 annually. However, if she claims benefits at age 70, she will receive $37,209 each year. After running the numbers and deciding she is eager to retire, Patty decides to retire from being a CRNA. she's 60 years old. With money in a taxable investment account and cash savings, Patty slowly takes money out of those accounts to pay for her living expenses. Given her savings, Patty decides to postpone her Social Security benefits until age 70. Between ages 60 and 65, CRNA Patty executes partial Roth conversions. She does this by taking a little bit of money from her traditional IRA and putting it into her Roth IRA each year. Now at age 65, CRNA Patty's pension benefit begins. Guess what? This increases her taxable income. So CRNA Patty continues her annual Roth conversions, but does so with smaller amounts now each year. And this is because of her higher taxable income from her pension. At age 70, CRNA Patty receives Social Security benefits. This further increases her taxable income. Her RMDs are also set to begin in 3 years when she's 73. At this point, CRNA Patty lowers her partial Roth conversions even further because her income from both Social Security and her pension is so high. Because of this careful planning, Patty was able to decrease her taxable income during the earliest portion of her gap years. This allowed her to minimize taxes not only at her eventual RMD age of age 73, but also on the partial Roth conversions each year. By paying less taxes to the government, CRNA Patty has more money for herself. And there's also planning for the gap years when you have a charitable intention. For many of you who've been blessed with a successful life, giving back feels like the right thing to do. Well, fortunately, some careful planning during the gap years can make giving back much more easier on your wallet. While you can always make a charitable contribution at any time, certain strategies can generate the greatest tax savings. Let's take a look at CRNA Patty's situation again and see how she can make the most impact with her money. Again, CRNA Patty retires at age 60. She now has plenty of time to seek out and research the charities that inspire her. However, even if Patty finds the right charity, it may not be the right time for her to donate. Going back to my timeline earlier, the most tax-efficient donation that Patty can make will be when her RMDs begin at age 73. And again, assuming Patty has sufficient income from her Social Security benefits and her pension, she does not need the income from her traditional IRA. Well, CRNA Patty can use her RMD to donate to charity. She does this by turning her RMD into a qualified charitable donation, a QCD. This can decrease her tax burden. At the end of the day, turning your RMD into a qualified charitable donation, a QCD, can be even better than donating outright. So waiting until the age of 73 to donate is usually the smartest things to do for 2 reasons. One, given the increased income and the associated taxes of Social Security, and possibly even a pension, tax rates will be higher after age 73 compared to the gap years. If you make a charitable donation when you are in a higher tax bracket, you can pay less in taxes. And 2, waiting to make a donation until age 73 as opposed to age 60 means money invested in an IRA will have an additional decade to grow. And that means you may be able to donate more money, making an even bigger impact for the charity receiving the donation and saving more in taxes. Okay, if charitable donations are not your thing, there are plenty of other opportunities to manage taxes during your gap years. Capital gains are just a fancy way of saying that you made money on your investment. Now, capital gains occur in a regular taxable account. In other words, not your traditional IRA account, not your Roth IRA account, not your 401k, not your 403b, or anything else receiving special tax treatment. A regular taxable account is a plain vanilla taxable account that is subject to taxes on interest, dividends, and capital gains. But just because you're dealing with a regular taxable account does not mean there aren't financial planning opportunities to reduce your tax burden during your gap years. Because in your gap years, it may make sense to sell some of your investments that have made money, investments that have capital gains. Now, the reason you may want to do this is that you may be taxed at 0% on long-term capital gains if you are in the lowest two federal tax brackets. If you're still receiving income from your CRNA profession, well, then it may make sense to distribute more income during your gap years. And this is because you'll be taxed at a lower rate during your gap years. If you have business or rental property generating income, it may make sense to postpone expenses until you reach RMD age. With rental property, postponing expenses, but not capital expenditures, may mean waiting to replace a carpet or even repainting the building. If you can postpone expenses until you're in an age when you must take RMDs, this will mean you will be able to decrease your income. Less income means less taxes. Now, some CRNAs choose to work well into their 70s. In that case, a lot of the strategies discussed here may not apply. You may not want to do partial Roth conversions while you are working, for example. And this is because working means taxable income, and thus being in a higher tax bracket than if you were not working. However, there are still opportunities to plan for taxes if you work past age 70. And those strategies include 1, delaying Social Security. Whether you're working or not, you still want to delay Social Security. If you are working, delaying Social Security makes extra sense. This is because you will already have income and taxes from working. And 2, prevent RMDs while working to reduce taxes. You especially do not want RMDs while you are working. And that is because RMDs and working individually means income taxes. But because of the U.S.'s progressive tax code, RMDs and income from working at the same time means those nasty XXL taxes. All right, let's wrap up today. Depending on your circumstances, none or all of what we talked about can apply to you. Regardless, the lesson remains. With careful planning during your gap years, you can have more money if you know how to lower taxes in retirement. The strategies I described here today would have worked for our client had she only met with us sooner. Unfortunately, her options were limited since she was over the age 73. If you are approaching your gap years or already in them, you should start planning now to decrease your future taxes. So if you have any unanswered questions about tax planning when it comes to your retirement, or maybe you need a recommendation or a resource, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can shoot me a note. My direct email is brett@oakcapitaladvisor.com, or you can directly schedule time with me by going to our website, oakcapitaladvisor.com, and click the free pre-op assessment link where you can schedule a call with me at your convenience. Take a minute too and give this show a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast. We'd really appreciate that. That would make it easier for other CRNAs to find us when they're searching for podcasts. Thank you for listening to this episode of Money RX for CRNAs, and have a great week.
This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions. This podcast does not engage in rendering legal, financial, or other professional services.